and welcome, my dear friends. This is Dr. Hanief's Chemistry with the next lecture. Before we'll start the topic, please do not hesitate to share and subscribe my channel. And now the topic is about structures of ionic compounds. आज हम बात करेंगे AB2 and A2B type compounds. In previous video we did talk of AB type compounds, wherein I told you the ratio between cation A we take as cation and B we take as anion, and the ratio here was 1:1. Then for this particular type of ionic compound we were having three types of structures. We did talk of rock salt type structure and the examples in it: cesium chloride type structure. We also talked about zinc blend type structure, that is ZNS. Now there is another category of ionic compounds, that is A2B, AB2 type and A2B type. ये आज हम इनकी बात करेंगे. So first of all we'll be taking up AB2 type compounds. So in AB2 type compounds, the ratio between cation and anion is 1:2. Cation 1 है, anion 2 है, तो there is a ratio that's 1:2 ratio. That's called as AB2 type compounds. ये जो AB2 type compounds है, ये एक structure depict करते हैं, and the structure is fluorite type structure. So such compounds show fluorite type structure. They show fluorite type structure. Now the point is, what is fluorite type structure? So for example, we have calcium fluoride as the compound, in which the ratio of cation and anion is obviously 1:2. Here जो calcium है, it goes for FCC packing, FCC, or we can say CCP packing, cubic close packing or face centered cubic packing. So when calcium 2 plus undergoes FCC packing, so obviously it is present at corners and at faces. So number of particles obviously will be 4. So number of particles will be, matlab calcium ions will be 4, because I told you whenever there is a face-centered cubic crystal, so there are 4 particles in it. ये हमने already discuss करा है in previous video, जहाँ हमने बात की थी number of particles के हवाले से. So when there are 4 particles, मतलब 4 calcium ions which goes for packing, obviously there will be 4 OH voids and there will be 8 TD voids. Now where goes the fluoride? Fluoride goes in, so F negative occupies all tetrahedral voids. So tetrahedral voids 8 है, because number of particles are 4. One is the number of particles are 4, so number of octahedral voids will be 4, but the number of tetrahedral voids will be 8. ये हमने already discuss किया है in previous videos. You can watch them, whose link has been placed in the description. तो F negative जो है ये occupy करता है all tetrahedral voids. So since fluoride occupy tetrahedral voids, obviously तो fluoride के इर्द गिर्द कितने कैल्शियम होंगे? 4. So coordination number of fluoride will be 4. So we can say the coordination number of F negative will be 4 and that of calcium 2 plus will be 8, because there are 8 fluorides which are basically directly touching the calcium ion. So coordination number of fluoride is 4 and that of calcium is 8, means the coordination in case of fluoride type structure is 8:4. So there's 8:4 coordination in case of fluoride type structure, that's calcium fluoride. Now, how many formula units are there? How many formula units are there? Since there are, you can see particles, matlab calcium ions are 4 and F negative are 8. So it is 4:8. So there are 4 calcium ions and there are 8 F negative ions. So we can say that number of particles, so there are, we can say there are 4 calcium ions and 8 F negative ions per unit cell in fluoride type structure. So how many calcium fluorides are there? So obviously we can write it like this, implies calcium fluoride हम लिखेंगे 4 times. So there are 4. क्यों? 4 calcium, 4 2s are 8, 8 fluoride. So we have 4 calcium fluoride units present per unit cell. So how many unit cells will be there in fluoride type structure is there will be 4 calcium fluoride units per unit cell in this particular structure. So these are the 4 things we did talk of. The first point is what goes for packing. I told you previously also, it is the calcium ion which goes for packing, and where goes the fluoride ions? They occupy the tetrahedral voids. Obviously fluoride will be 4 and calcium will be 4, fluoride will be 8. So it is having 4 calcium, 8 fluorides per unit cell, which means 4 calcium fluoride units per unit cell, and the coordination number of F negative is 4 because it occupies the tetrahedral void which is surrounded by 4 calcium ions, and each fluoride is surrounded by 8 calcium 2 plus ions, so it's having a coordination number of 8. This is about the fluoride type structure, and now what can be the examples? So the examples are chlorides and fluorides of barium and strontium. मतलब क्या? मतलब ये कि we have barium fluoride, we have strontium fluoride, we are having calcium, we are having barium chloride, we are having strontium chloride. So these are the compounds which will exhibit fluoride type structure, wherein barium goes for CCP packing and fluoride occupies the TD voids. And now next is fluorides of lead and cadmium, which means lead fluoride and cadmium fluoride. So these are the compounds which will go for fluoride type structure, wherein lead goes for CCP packing and F negative occupies the all TD voids, tetrahedral voids. And one more compound is that is THO2, thorium oxide. Thorium oxide एक ऐसा compound है जो fluoride type structure दिखाता है, in which thorium goes for CCP packing and oxygen जो है O2 negative ions, they occupy actually the all tetrahedral voids. So exactly the same structure are exhibited by these compounds also as is done by calcium fluoride. So such a structure is referred to as calcium fluoride structure. So we have one more category of structure, that is A to B type. A to B type. अगर आप यहाँ पे देखेंगे, if you just remember this, it's having 8:4 coordination. So 8:4 coordination is there. So जब हमारे पास AB2 compounds होते हैं तो the coordination is 8:4. मतलब ये कि cation जो है that is surrounded by 8 fluorides and fluoride जो है that's anion, it's surrounded by 4 calcium. So it's like that, coordination is 8:4. So in general अगर आप बात करेंगे in general की, अगर हमारे पास ऐसे होगा ABN type compound, ABN type, तो coordination will be 8 divided by n. अगर यहाँ देखेंगे it is actually 8 divided by what is the value of n here? 2. It's 2, that's equal to 8:4. So you can remember this. For ABN type of compounds, the coordination number of cation will be 8 and the coordination number of anion will be 8 divided by n. You can remember this for competitive exams like JEE, NEET. And now we'll go for the next point, that is A to B compounds. ये वो वाले ionic compounds होते हैं जिनमें cation और anion का ratio जो है that is equal to 2:1. कैटाइन 2 हो, एनाइन 1 है. ये कैसा स्ट्रक्चर दिखाते हैं? द स्ट्रक्चर शोन इज एंटी फ्लोराइड टाइप. सो A2B टाइप कंपाउंड जो है ये एंटी फ्लोराइड टाइप स्ट्रक्चर दिखाते हैं, एंटी फ्लोराइड टाइप स्ट्रक्चर दिखाते हैं. तो व्हाट इज दैट स्ट्रक्चर? दैट इज एग्जैक्टली द रिवर्स ऑफ फ्लोराइड टाइप स्ट्रक्चर. फॉर एग्जांपल हम बात करेंगे सोडियम ऑक्साइड की. वी हैव Na2O. इनका जो रेशो है दैट इज 2:1. ऑब्वियसली बिकॉज कैटाइन 2 है, एनाइन एक ही है. तो एंटी फ्लोराइड टाइप स्ट्रक्चर जब है तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि वायर आर बेसिकली द विच गोज फॉर पैकिंग. वहां पे फ्लोराइड टाइप स्ट्रक्चर में कैटाइन दैट गोज फॉर पैकिंग, लेकिन यहाँ पे जो एंटी फ्लोराइड है ये एनाइन गोज फॉर पैकिंग. सो O2 नेगेटिव गोज फॉर FCC पैकिंग और वी कैन से CCP पैकिंग. ऑब्वियसली ये प्रेजेंट होगा एट कॉर्नर्स एंड एट फेसेस. ऑब्वियसली जो O2 माइनस होंगे वो होंगे 4 बिकॉज द नंबर ऑफ पार्टिकल्स विल बी 4 बिकॉज FCC पैकिंग इज देयर. जब O2 माइनस 4 होंगे तो पार्टिकल्स जब 4 होते हैं, पार्टिकल्स जब 4 होते हैं तो OH वाइड्स भी 4 होंगे और टेट्राहेड्रल वाइड्स कितने होंगे? 8 होंगे. सो जो सोडियम है, अब सोडियम Na+, इट ऑक्यूपाइज ऑल TD वाइड्स. अब फर्क क्या है? एंटी फ्लोराइड और फ्लोराइड में फर्क क्या है? फ्लोराइड में कैल्शियम मतलब कैटाइन गोज फॉर पैकिंग, एनाइन गोज फॉर वाइड्स. लेकिन एंटी फ्लोराइड में क्या है? एनाइन गोज फॉर पैकिंग, दैट्स FCC पैकिंग, और कैटाइन जो है इट ऑक्यूपाइज द TD वाइड्स. दिस इज द थिंग. अब देखिए सोडियम आयन ऑक्यूपाई TD वाइड करता है, मतलब ये कि इसके इर्द गिर्द 4 ऑक्साइड आयन्स होंगे. तो मतलब ये कि इसका कोऑर्डिनेशन नंबर 4 होगा. सो वी कैन राइट इट लाइक दिस. Coordination number of O2 minus will be 4 and that of sodium Na plus will be 8. So coordination is, therefore the coordination is that is 8:4. So what is the coordination? सॉरी यहाँ पे गलत हुआ. O2 माइनस बेसिकली को कोऑर्डिनेशन नंबर कितना है? सोडियम गोज फॉर पैकिंग. तो अगर आप देखेंगे यहाँ, अगर आप यहाँ देखेंगे इफ यू सी हियर, यस, सो सोडियम गोज फॉर पैकिंग, गोज फॉर TD वाइड. मतलब है कि इसके इर्द गिर्द कितने होंगे? 4. मतलब सोडियम के 4 होंगे. सो सोडियम के इर्द गिर्द 4 फ्लोराइड्स होंगे और ऑक्साइड के कितने होंगे? 8 होंगे. सो इट इज बेसिकली 4:8. उसका रिवर्स, फ्लोराइड टाइप स्ट्रक्चर का रिवर्स. सो कोऑर्डिनेशन इज 4:8. आई टोल्ड यू राइट नाउ दैट इन जनरल A2B कंपाउंड्स में क्या था रेशो? अब 8/n:8. तो इन जनरल अगर ANB होगा, ये 2 डिवाइड है यहाँ बिकॉज n is equal to 2. सो इन जनरल इफ यू हैव ANB, सो द कोऑर्डिनेशन विल बी 8 divided by n:8. ये आप याद रखेंगे. It means the coordination number of B is 8. The coordination number A will be 8/n. So whatever will be the value here, you divide that, you will get the coordination number of that cation. You will get the coordination number of anion as such, that's 8. So next point is how many formula units are there per unit cell. So since cations कितने हैं? अब Na2O में कितने सोडियम हैं? आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ सोडियम तो 4 ही है बिकॉज सोडियम 8 है बिकॉज इट ऑक्यूपाइज ऑल TD वाइड्स. कितने होते हैं? 8 होते हैं, सारे ऑक्यूपाई करने. मतलब ये कि सोडियम जो है, सोडियम आयन दैट इज इक्वल टू 8. ऑक्साइड कितने हैं? 4 हैं. दैट मीन्स सो सोडियम बेसिकली 8 है और ऑक्साइड कितने हैं? 4 है. सो वी कैन राइट इट लाइक दिस. इट इज 4 times Na2O यूनिट्स पर यूनिट सेल. सो एक यूनिट सेल में 4 Na2O. कैसे? 4 2s are 8 means 8 sodium, 4 oxygen. So there are 4 Na2O units per unit cell in case of anti-fluoride type structure. The same was in case of fluoride type structure, wherein we also find that there are 4 CaF2 units per unit cell. There it was the coordination 8:4. Here it is the coordination 4:8. So in general, we have A and B compounds in which the coordination number of A will be 8/n. This you remember for competitive exams. I hope you understand it. And now we'll be talking about examples. Following are some of the examples, like we have the oxides and sulfides of first A. Oxides and sulfides of first A. For example, first A means group first elements. उनके oxides मतलब lithium oxide, सोडियम ऑक्साइड तो अभी किया बात, तो वी हैव रुबिडियम ऑक्साइड, potassium oxide, rubidium oxide, cesium oxide. Similarly, we are having Li2S, Na2S, sodium sulfide, or we have rubidium sulfide, we have potassium sulfide. ये जो सारे हैं, ये सारे स्ट्रक्चर्स दिखाएंगे एंटी फ्लोराइड टाइप इन विच ऑक्साइड गोज फॉर पैकिंग एंड लिथियम आयन जो है इट goes into the whites which are tetrahedral whites. So all these things you should understand. Once you remember the examples, you can get to know the structures easily. I hope you understand it. So what kind of questions can be asked in examination competitive? The first point is the structure based problems. मतलब AB कौन टाइप स्ट्रक्चर दिखाता है? AB जो है it shows rock salt type structure, it shows cesium chloride type structure, it can show zinc blende type structure. So इसमें फिर आपको ये जानना है कि अच्छा AB2 A2B कैसे दिखाता है? It's anti fluoride type structure अभी बताया, and AB2 जो है it is fluoride type structure. Examples आपको याद रखने हैं. And next is what can be the coordination numbers of each? कोऑर्डिनेशन नंबर्स ऑफ ईच, चाहे एन कैटाइन होगा या एनाइन होगा, उनका कोऑर्डिनेशन नंबर कैसा है? आई टोल्ड यू दिस. ए बी कंपाउंड्स में 6:6 कोऑर्डिनेशन होता है. इन केस ऑफ रॉक साल्ट, इन केस ऑफ सीजियम क्लोराइड इट्स 8:8 कोऑर्डिनेशन. इन केस ऑफ जिंक ब्लेंड इट्स 4:4 कोऑर्डिनेशन. तो इन केस ऑफ एंटी फ्लोराइड, इन केस ऑफ फ्लोराइड टाइप स्ट्रक्चर इट इज 8:4 कोऑर्डिनेशन. इन जनरल आप याद रख सकते हैं 8:8 बाय एन, यहाँ भी एन के बदले 2 है. A2B फ्लोराइड टाइप में आप लिख सकते हैं 8/n:8 coordination. So n is here 2. So you can remember this. So coordination ऐसे निकलेगा आपको. And then how many formula units are there? In case of rock salt, it is 6 NaCl units per unit cell. It is 8 NaCl units per unit cell. It's 4 NaCl units per unit cell. And here it is. In case of fluoride, it is basically 4 AB2 type compounds per unit cell. It is 4 A2B type units per unit cell also. So ये जो सारी चीज़ें हैं, ये questions आपको पूछे जाएंगे in examination. यही questions बनते हैं as far as the structures of ionic compounds is concerned. In the next video, we'll hopefully talk about the defects and some important things like how can we find non-stoichiometric compounds, the ratio of cation and anion. Those are the important topics for JEE NEET examinations. And one more thing I would like to tell you is if you like my videos, please do not hesitate to share and subscribe my channel. Take good care of yourselves. Thank you very much.